Hey, what's up guys? It's Farmer Jack and welcome to my farm. And today specifically, I wanted to show you our nursery, which is where we grow up all our baby plants. And we start them from seed, we start them from cutting. It's where we propagate all of our plants. And I really am excited to share this with you guys because we've honestly had an issue with sourcing these plants locally down here in South Florida. And I'm sure probably where you're from, there's a sourcing issue with plants. So we've had to take it on ourselves and start our plants ourselves. So I'm hoping you guys can get inspired and do it too, so your communities can grow all these amazing plants. So let's get into it. So check it out. This is where we start our trays of plants. Maybe up north, if you're up north, you have like a greenhouse area where you can keep them protected from those frosts. But we're in South Florida. Literally, we don't really have frost here in Jupiter, Florida. But we need to keep kind of them out of rain because of these storms. We need to keep them out of the elements. So that's why we kind of have this open air barn and we could put them there so in case there's like torrential downpour, you know, our baby peppers and kale, they're all sensitive. They could be happy there. So that's where we keep our little seedlings. We start them in 72 cell trays. And then we actually, look, you can see them. We're gonna show you where we bump them up. But look, these are bumped up broccoli and we put them in these 4-inch pots. The idea is so we could seed these all out and kind of see what comes up and be able to do a lot in a small space. That's the idea. There's thousands of plants here potentially. So you can grow them all here and then you bump them up from here with actually, we just use literally a fork from the dining room table and pop them out these cells. And you can honestly bring this to the field too. Pop them out and plant them in the field or in your garden bed. That's what a lot of farmers do, but we put them in pots and we get them sized up real nice, like the ones you buy at Home Depot or something. We have those here that we start from seed, which is pretty amazing. And then we go plant them in the garden. So that's called transplanting. So we're seeding here and then we're transplanting over here in the barn. So let me show you that. So this is our soil potting area and we'll sift it. We actually have this sifter that we use and we'll run our compost, our finished compost, which is basically our compost pile when it goes from all the leaves and everything and it turns to this. It's finished compost. So we have a bunch of sources of them. We could show you the soil we just got delivered. It looks like really good stuff. And I'm excited because I'm gonna take that soil and I'm gonna put them through this sifter and get the finest material for those roots to really go and spread out and establish in that cell that we're gonna start it in. So we're gonna get our potting mix that's finely graded and it's ready to be seeded in. So that's what I like to use for my seeding mix. And you could add some perlite. We have some of this. We honestly don't use a lot of this. It helps aerate the soil, but this stuff is, you know, it's not ideal. It's synthetic, you know? So I really honestly, we'll just plant right in like half sifted peat moss that you can get at the store, mixed with our compost. And it works great. So let's go in here. So from those trays, we'll take them out here and we'll put them in these pots and look, we're gonna size them up. Boom, so they're ready for the garden and they're sized up and look, boom, they're literally a root system and it's white. So that means it's perfect. When it kind of turns yellow and brown, that kind of means it's in there too long. You wanna get it in your garden ASAP. That way it doesn't get root bound and kind of like knot up. You've kind of seen that when they knot up into each other. They'd rather not do that. They'd rather spread out to the bottom of the soil, you know, just the earth. That's what they want. So here we get to start them because we could go literally transport them to gardens all over Palm Beach County. That's the idea of a nursery. But what we do is we start them here because you get like an 8-week head start. That's the idea. Like literally, boom, you're harvesting in 3 to 4 weeks. Do you see what I mean? So there's also no advantage to this, but every crop's different. So some like carrots, we're not gonna start in these. We're gonna go out into the garden, we're gonna seed it right in the garden. But the idea is to get you guys to understand, how do we start these plants? And how do they get in our gardens, into production, and into our bellies? So follow me. This is kind of through our support plants section. So this is kind of our lemongrass, cranberry hibiscus, shrubs, sugarcane, and some fruit trees as well. But really, this used to be fruit trees, and then we outgrew this space. So you can see I still have some fruit trees out here that are doing well. And these are all like top tier varieties, guys. I tell people, they're like, oh, is this mango gonna be good, or is it gonna be fibery, like those ones you don't want? We only plant mangoes that are delicious. You can't get this anywhere else other than your yard or your neighbor's yard. And also they produce well and grow well and strong. So we've like kind of trialed these varieties out for several seasons, and we stick to those and grow them out for you in the community, whoever wants them, because we know they're gonna be awesome. So here is our fruit tree nursery, and each line is a different type of tree. Loquat, avocado, Barbados cherry, chocolate pudding fruit. We got all the trees. And we do need to set up irrigation. I literally, you could tell I just finished the cloth like a month or two ago before I left town, and it's ready to go. We could fit, 200 trees potentially here, which is an amazing upgrade from like 40 or 50 over there. So the idea is that we want it sunny, easily accessible, easy to work around. We're not like weeding and weed whacking in there all the time. So we already had the garden on the other side of this because it's a ton of sun. The garden loves that. And that's kind of you can see there's sweet potatoes over there and pumpkins and all that good stuff. And we were like, hey, let's just extend it. We have all this space, and just do the nursery right here because the water source is there. So that's what we did. And guys, just so you get an idea, this was like an actual like horse farm, so just to get you thinking like what's possible, like we didn't have horses, they took their horses before we got here. We had to muck out like the stalls and all this stuff. It wasn't like even like in good condition for maybe horses to come in and live here. So we were like, hey, let's just literally take out a bunch of these fencing. Like there was fencing through here for like all these horses, right? We took it out and we're like, hey, let's grow food. Let's make really, really healthy soil. And let's start plants here so we could go get other people to enjoy that too in their homes, and transform their homes in other places, and just do the same kind of, have the same vision as we do. So that's the idea, which leads me to actually an announcement to an amazing event we're hosting this weekend, September 30th, here on the farm. I'm basically having an open house type event where, this person driving up, anybody and everybody who wants to grow food in their yards can come here and see what we're doing here. And it's this weekend from 6 to 9 p.m. And we're gonna be eating fruits, we're gonna be hanging out. There's gonna be kids running around enjoying the food for us, and it'll be a lot of fun. So the idea is just to create community around what we're doing here. So if these videos resonate with you guys, we hope to see you there. Cool, so check out some of these trees. Again, we want to do automatic irrigation, and literally this will just go on every day. I've been using the sprinkler, which has been working fine, and it's been bringing me closer to the plants. But again, you just keep them organized so you can keep an eye. These are our Barbados cherries. Guys, we literally don't spray our plants, and maybe we should. A lot of these nurseries like spray so they don't have losses. Like this tree's hurting, and you might feel that, and most people will be like, what do I spray? But honestly, we don't want to put poisons on all our food, so I don't even recommend it. It's like, okay, what plant wants to grow really strong and healthy? And let's do more of those plants. So I don't know if that makes sense yet, guys, but like really, if like we spray compost tea regimens and keep the plants healthy and in strong soil, it's less likely that they're gonna have a lot of outbreaks, in my experience. But you guys tell me. I don't think spraying regularly is a good thing. So I guess that's a good thing to mention in this video for you guys. A lot of nurseries do that. I think we should be thinking deeper about these things. And if you're spraying, okay, what time of day? Is stuff blooming in that time period? Like, are there bees around? Like, we should be really thoughtful about these things. So anyways, my 2 cents on spraying. I just wanted to show you that, like, literally we have caterpillars here. I'm not gonna say we've never sprayed, because some people would say, hey, can you use this organic little spray that's certified organic? And organic farmers use that, and that's okay. We've done that, but it's short-lived, man. These caterpillars are coming back. So I like to just be out there and kind of getting getting them before they multiply. Observation, I think, is better than spraying. Imagine that. Observation, like being out there and present and dealing with the imbalance on the spot, right? It's just like our bodies. That's like our garden. When there's imbalance, that's when there's 200 caterpillars, but I take some of those caterpillars and I'll go feed my chickens before they multiply. So yeah, and there will be times of the year, and it's just learning the seasons, guys. That's what I want to get you guys into, because in April, there's caterpillars everywhere. Everyone's arugula is getting eaten. All of our gardens, it'll be like clockwork. We'll show up that week, the same type of caterpillar is in every garden. It's like, how does that happen? All around. So it's just like what happens every April, right? So it's like knowing that, oh, okay, now it's time to replant sweet potatoes for summer. It's like getting in that flow. So I digress. Let me show you guys one more spot of the nursery and we'll wrap up the video. Like we had all our trays in there because we grew out of this table. Like look at all these bok choy. We started from seed. '72 bok choy looking good. We'll probably just pop these out and put them right in the garden beds. This does amazing in Florida. But we have it up here because of the rabbits. But we grew out of this table. It'd be cool to do more, but the materials add up. But it's also like a good way for you guys to see, to have them up high where they get a lot of sunlight and they drain well. And most importantly, they're away from the rabbits. But yeah, this is like a veggie section. And it's been getting too much rain, you could tell. So a lot of these seedlings just aren't looking the best because it's been getting pounded on. And we'll just pick the good ones and bump them up, but it's the advantage of having that overhang. Something to consider, you know? That's some more veggies, some more herbs, and over here is our shade nursery. Check it out, under this big oak tree. So this is our shade nursery. We have stuff that likes the shade. Jaboticabas, turmeric, ginger, shampoo ginger. A lot of these food forest plants that thrive in the food forest are cuttings we'll put in here sometimes because it's in the shade. So if you want to root cuttings, you want them kind of out of the sun. I know I've been talking about seeds a lot, but another way to start these plants is you take a cutting from the longevity spinach or some of these plants, cranberry hibiscus, and you put it in a pot. That will create roots and start to grow. So we do that with a lot of our plants. It's from cuttings. So instead of putting in the direct sun, we found they fry up and they won't establish roots because it's too sensitive to put out roots. We start them in the shade nursery because they're protected. And if we miss like a watering one day, they're still kind of starting to establish and be in that moist environment to propagate. So shade nursery is good to have. This doesn't really have cloth, but we just put a load of mulch and literally there's no weeds here. And yeah, again, this needs automatic irrigation, but you kind of hit a section at a time, you know. We're bootstrapping here at Urban Abundance, but you know, it's amazing how many plants you can get off your land. Like we have, you know, maybe 10,000 plants sitting here. So anyways, that's our humble nursery, but I'm happy to share it with you guys. I hope it inspires you guys at home to start your own nurseries, or even just start a couple pots of seeds. You start somewhere. So I would encourage you guys to do that, and we hope to see you at our event and many more coming in the future if you see this at a later time. Again, I'm Farmer Jack, and we'll see you next time. Yeah, come soon. We should do it, yes. Was that a good ad? You think? I think it's perfect. Cool.